Welcome back. Although our story started in 1971, Fort Wayne, Indiana, we're now in the Florida Keys where Charlie Brandt has settled with his new wife, Terry. No one knows what 13-year-old Carl did decades ago. Records stack up quietly through the 90s. Terry keeps a diary. Charlie tracks and logs the mileage and gas fills of his truck. Some weeks total up to 200 to 220 miles between gas fills, which are really odd numbers for a commute that takes about 13 minutes.
And why was he tracking them in the first place? Was it for work? Was he an independent contractor? Was he just that meticulous?
All of the above.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Miami-Dade, 1995. 35-year-old Darlene Toller's body was found just after Thanksgiving. Decapitated.
Oh.
Heart missing.
Again.
The body is wrapped in a blanket, then in plastic and tied like a package and left on the roadside. Investigators find dog hairs in the blanket. Around this same time, other sex worker homicides in South Florida echo in similarity. Different cities, different teams of investigators, never a single suspect. These cold cases stack up in a manner that rhymes.
And right there you said sex worker homicides, typically, statistically, people who aren't always missed.
Correct.
Or where there aren't a lot of people looking for them.
You're not wrong.
Man.
Life goes on for Charlie and Terry. The couple has lots of close friends and family. They visit Charlie's father on occasion. Terry's parents visit every so often, and they become close with Terry's niece, Michelle Jones, who you can see in the picture here. Flash forward a few more years, and it's September of 2004. Charlie and Terry have been living happily ever after. Michelle Jones is now a 37-year-old TV executive at the Golf Channel. She lives in the Orlando area. Hurricane Ivan was turning in the Atlantic, and the Keys went under evacuation. On September 11th, Michelle called her aunt and uncle in Big Pine Key and said what Florida people say when storms come rolling in. Come stay with me. Terry and Charlie Brandt drove up and arrived that Saturday. And the first few hours of the visit looked like any other. Michelle's closest friends, Lisa Emmons and Debbie Knight, come over for drinks and an ordinary hangout at an awesome house with a pool and a jacuzzi. On Sunday, Terry and Charlie drove up the coast to see Charlie's father in Ormond Beach, then returned to Michelle's place that evening. Their bags stayed packed and ready, situated right near the front door. They intended to return home the next day. By Monday, September 13th, the storm threat to the Keys had passed, but Charlie insisted on staying one more night.
And that's Charlie and Terry, correct?
Yep.
That was just on the screen? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And that evening, he cooked fish. Everybody had wine. But Michelle calls her friend Lisa to wave off an earlier invite, telling her that Terry and Charlie were arguing. They'd had a bit too much to drink. She said, "I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Don't bother coming over." Michelle's mother, Mary Lou, who talked to her daughter almost daily from North Carolina, called that Monday night. No answer. Mary Lou called again Tuesday. Still no answer.
And mind you, there's a hurricane going on.
It's gone. It's done, though.
It's
done.
Okay.
It ended on Monday, so that the threat was over by Monday.
Well, so she called Monday night, no answer.
Yep.
So, still, it's happening. Maybe she was wiped out. You know,
Sure. You could shake that one off.
Right.
Tuesday all day, no answer, starting to feel a little worried. Then by Wednesday night.
Well, and even just concerned that the storm had wiped out power or whatever. You know,
Sure.
Maybe she needed something. But still, there's concern.
Oh, yeah. And by Wednesday night, when you haven't heard from your
Yeah.
kid, worry becomes outright concern, maybe even fear. So Mary Lou calls Debbie and asks Debbie to go to the house.
Yeah.
Now she stays on the phone with Debbie as Debbie walked up the drive. The doors were locked from the outside. Debbie moves to the glass-paned garage door. She peers in through the window and notices a body hanging from the rafters by a bedsheet around the neck, a ladder nearby. She calls cops. Deputies arrive a few minutes later. They open the garage door. It is sweltering. Oh. They confirm the body is Charlie. They move inside the home. On the living room couch, Terry lay slumped, multiple wounds to her chest. In the primary bedroom, Michelle was on the bed in pieces.
Oh my gosh. Not just deceased on the bed, but in pieces. Like it just. Oh, and
Here's what the investigation uncovered. Detectives reconstructed the last evening. Dinner, wine, an argument heard over the phone, a decision by Charlie to stay an extra night. Looking at the scene, they can identify Terry is likely ambushed first. Stabbed 7 to 8 times in the chest, puncturing her heart and lungs. Rapid blood loss and organ damage resulted in death within minutes. Stabbed right where she was sitting on the living room couch. Terry Brandt, Charlie's wife, had no chance to warn her niece. Michelle Jones died quickly from a single deliberate stab wound with an entry point right below the sternum, angled upward. Decisive, practiced, and directed at the heart. An instantly fatal strike causing a loss of consciousness within seconds, followed moments later by death. Afterwards, Michelle was decapitated, her heart and several organs removed, breasts excised, and her head set carefully next to the torso facing her own body. Methodical work done with precision. This took time and clearly looked practiced. He used multiple kitchen knives. Some were found in the bedroom and others out in the living room and kitchen area. Michelle's blood-soaked clothes had been placed in the bathroom sink. Charlie's own bloody clothes were left on the bedroom floor. Following his butcherous deed, it appeared he had rinsed off, changed, walked to the garage, tied a sheet to the rafter, and hanged himself. There was no forced entry. The house was locked from the inside. There was no note. The conclusion was inescapable. Neither victim showed any signs of a struggle or defensive wounds. There was no sexual violence of any kind.
I think the word gruesome is overused because there's no other way to describe what that was. I also can't help but notice the difference in the killings between Terry and Michelle. Terry is simply just stabbed on the couch where she was sitting, ambushed, whatever, and just stabbed. But the level of precision that went into him killing, or we can assume, I mean, it was him at this point, it's him. The level of meticulous precision that went into killing Michelle, there's a huge difference there.
Absolutely.
Huge difference.
Yeah. It's a smart observation, and even I think furthering that, we are certainly in this story led to believe the other aforementioned women were maybe victims who were Charlie's, and we'll explore that more. But even when you look at what was done to Terry, it's different even than them.
Yeah.
And he could have gone back and done these things. So I think we'll explore maybe some of that after in the final segment, because I think there probably is a reason why their killings were different.
Yeah.
And again, that's an astute observation on your part, but you're not wrong, especially even just the single thrust that you know what you're doing with that stab move.
Yep.
Up between the ribs and sternum to the heart.
He wanted that quick.
Yeah. And everything else was just done after the fact.
Wow.
And I don't know why the cleanup on him, on his own self afterward.
Oh,
if you're
pride.
Gonna take your own life.
Pride.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. No note, pride, and control.
Okay. Well, naturally, Don Palumbo, this investigation will have to travel 6 hours south to the Brandt's home in Big Pine Key, which is still bordered up perfectly against Hurricane Ivan. Find out what investigators discover at Charlie and Terry Brandt's house in our final segment.